musicians and cool things and stuff. It's the Holly and Josh Show.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Rayna and Josh Show again. We got him back, ladies and gentlemen.
I didn't know what was going to happen. Hey, everyone.
We were going to do some harmoniers. So this week we're going to be talking about Article 13 again, as Rayna is back, and he is a bit of a genius. And we're also going to be talking about crowdfunding in the music industry, as well as some music from Slow King, East Town Pirates, and JS and the Lockerbillies, because we love talking about ourselves, don't we?
Oh, I love talking about yourself.
It's podcast, anyway. So there's no Harley this week, I'm afraid.
What?
You say? He's on holiday, a much needed little break from me in Centre Parks. Yeah, exactly. So he's probably listening in right now. I missed my wives. But yeah, so we've got the wonderful Rayna. He said he'd step in, and he did. So what you been doing, buddy?
Hey, so yeah, this week's been mainly just focused on the East Town Pirates album launch, which was on the 24th, so on Saturday.
It was sick.
Yeah, so all last week we were just prepping for it, really. So rehearsals on Wednesday. Also on Wednesday, yeah, me and Ricky from East Town Pirates went to have a chat with Stephen Foster.
It did, on the old BBC radio.
He's such a lovely
Suffolk.
chap, and he's good to you guys as well. It's good to Lockerbillies.
Yes, yeah, I was with him last week as well.
Yeah, so we were album of the week on his show all of this week, which was awesome. So we went,
front cover of the Grapevine this month.
Yeah, lots of nice things. And we're in the East Anglian on Thursday. My mug was in there.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
You're used to that, aren't you? But you're not used to being told about it. It gets sprung upon you.
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm in the paper?
Yeah.
Was it the same thing with you, or just...
we actually got told we were going to be in it, but I guess they're just sick of telling you and Murray, because it seems like it's just every other week now.
We're just like stock photo of a band for them now. And they're like, well, some music happened. I'll just put the Lockerbillies in. It was probably there.
Yeah, that was good fun. And then Saturday was the big night, so we had the album launch at the John Peel Centre. And much to our surprise, it was sold out. So
it was, yeah.
It was super fun.
You had a
great
nice,
crowd.
fast-selling show. I mean, especially in the last week, because I remember I was listening to the Radio Suffolk interview, and I watched your video on it, which is on Rayna Vandel's YouTube channel. And you were saying, we've got about 150 tickets sold. And that was 2-3 days before the gig, and it was capacity is 200, wasn't it?
Yeah
Sold that out, so yeah, nicely done. In those last couple of days, selling 50 tickets. It's a hard push, promoting an album launch, as I've done it before myself. East Town Pirates, you've done it 3 times now, haven't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, is this the first time that you've been involved in the push of an album launch for East Town Pirates?
Yeah, definitely, because I rejoined the band 5 years ago, and that was about a year or two after the second album came out.
Yeah.
So by this point, the
Seven Seas of Sin.
7 Seas of Sin, yeah. So the
It's horrible for people with lisps.
Seven Seas of Sin with East Town Pirates. So yeah,
sorry.
By
guys.
that point, by the time I joined, the wave and the push of that album had died down, and we were more focused on getting this album sorted. The only reason it took so long, really, to get the third album done is because of a few circumstantial things. So we had a member leave the band, we had a member join the band, and those sorts of things just make you have to sort of relearn songs with the new guy. We rewrote songs, but Ian Crow from Amblerman Studios has been an absolute saint, putting up with us for all these years, getting the album finished. Me and Sean, the bass player, actually finished our parts in August of 2015, just to put it in perspective.
That's a rhythm section for you, though.
Yeah. We went and laid all our bits down in like a day and a half or 2 days or something, and then the rest of it's just been rewrites, new parts, and all the stuff that usually happens with writing an album. But it's been so good. The push, it's been fun to be involved in the push of the album, because I love to make videos, I love to do stuff online, but it's even better to do that when there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah, there's actually a product or there's a story.
Exactly, yeah, there's like a narrative there. So I've had a year's worth of slowly unveiling different parts of the album, whether it's just mentioning it, playing live clips of the song, studio footage, leading right up to this week where we did a full-on promo where me and Ricky sat down, I showed the interview with Foz, and just flogged the last few tickets via the media of YouTube's. So it was nice, and it's just good fun. I got to make a video for the band as well, music video. So
yeah, where can you find that?
So East Town Pirates YouTube, I believe if you just go youtube.com Oh no, we don't have the little / East Town Pirates
Not yet, yeah.
But if you just search East Town Pirates on YouTube, on the first page you'll find our channel, and there's a couple videos on there.
What's the new video called?
The video is Thorn in My Side.
My toe.
But yeah, Thorn in My Side. It was just a little. We just tried to make it look really old school and gnarly. It was just shot in our rehearsal room. But it's all black and white and grainy, and we tried to make it look like it was really old, but it's not.
Yeah.
It was hard to do that because it was
Definitely,
filmed on really modern gear.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's best to do it that way, though, isn't it? I've heard a lot of people sit there and say, like, actually, if you try and actually film on tape, you get, or straight to these sort of Super 8 things.
Yeah.
You get that great thing, but you can't upscale it if you need to.
Exactly,
it's just really bad.
Yeah, so even if you are filming something on some old school gear, when you then try and like actually make it
look
good on a modern, 1080p or 4K telly, it's just going to look super pixelated,
crazy, isn't it? But it's obviously doable because I mean, you've done a really good job on that one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's difficult being part of a push. I mean, we're going to be talking about pushing products later on when we talk about crowdfunding, as that was what I was doing when I was pushing my album, and it was a little bit easier to have a long release schedule.
Yeah.
Because I'd been crowdfunding it for months and months and months and months, so there was always this kind of like, this is when the album's going to be released, and there's going to be a party and all this sort of thing. Whereas, I mean, I'm talking about having a long build up to it. That's not really 3 years. No. So yeah, you guys had 3 years doing that sort of thing.
I think because of that, we were very careful of not. It's not like 3 years ago we were saying it's going to be the 24th of August of November.
Yeah,
we waited until we knew everything. We're like, right, okay, everything's done.
That was relatively recently. You actually released the date.
Well, the thing is, we had the gig booked at John Peel Centre for a long time.
What was the other band called?
For the Hornets.
That's it.
Yeah, they were awesome.
I missed them, unfortunately.
Yeah, they were really cool. They were a bit different to us. They were a bit more like, Pirates is quite upbeat and jolly and happy-go-lucky. They were quite hardcore, but they still got the crowd pumped up.
Sweet.
And beered up, so it's good. What was I saying? Train of thought.
Train of Vandel.
So, we made sure to not release like the album launch date until we knew we could definitely do it. So we already had this gig booked, and we thought, why not just use that as the album launch? It's perfect size venue. It's worth giving it a big push because it's a big ticketed event, the biggest show we've done all year, probably minus festivals. So it all just came together really nicely at the last minute, man. And thanks to everyone who came along. If you were there, we really appreciate it. Thanks for buying everything that you bought and enjoying it. And yeah, awesome.
Are you still doing a Steamboat show around Christmas time?
Yeah, yes. 21st of December.
21st
it's our
of December.
Annual Christmas show. We always put on a nice big event like we did on Saturday. We make it a bit of a spectacle. It'll be fun. I can't really release the support bands or anything yet because I can't remember.
That's fine, man. I don't give you these things. I need notes when you come in here. I need notes. Okay, so for you listening, it's the East Town Pirates Show on the 21st of December.
The Steamboat.
Yeah, so there we go. That was a nice way of pushing stuff. But yeah, it is a difficult thing. I think a lot of people don't quite understand how to release an album until they've done it a couple times, like you guys have done. There's a couple of people releasing albums I know locally that they're just literally just dropping the album on a date. And somebody like me, who I want to plug it happening, they haven't released a single. They haven't released a press kit or anything like this. It's literally just, all right, we're going to have a gig and then there's going to be an album at the end of it. It's just like, that's a very old school way of doing it. And if you actually want it to impact, that's not going to work. You really do have to have a long build up for it. There's got to be a presence for it. I mean, they'll do a banner on their page or something. Maybe, put a boost on Facebook. And that's about it. So I think the way that people reach their fans nowadays, because it's so much easier and as there's so much less barriers in the way, people have gotten lazier and they'll just be like, oh, I'll put it on Facebook, what else can I do? It's like, well, do you remember what people used to do?
That. Social media is a blessing and a curse. It's great because you've got unlimited amounts of advertising you can do essentially for free, but the downside is people, just like you say, assume that if they just put one status about it 6 months before going, I'm releasing an album in December, that everyone's going to remember and turn. It's not like that. You really have to like have a consistent marketable. It's a product, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you've
I mean,
got
think about what people used to do before we had computers in every
Yeah.
household. There'd be fanzines, you'd be going out flyering.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be busking, you'd be like sort of doing free shows somewhere. There's something that Slow King's doing. He's doing a show in a barber shop, which I think is a great thing.
Like you said, putting together a press pack, trying to get any
Yeah.
local magazine or newspaper to
EPKs,
feature it.
man. EPKs, electronic pet press kit. This is all stuff that I learned on my
things.
degree, but a lot of people have to just learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, you know, everybody in your band has done. Are you the only degree holder in your band? Well, studier anyway, academic man.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so I do try I do try and use my like youthful social media head with
Yeah.
East Town Pirates because, like you say, they're all pretty old school. They're pretty good at the social media side of things, but I'm like, I've got an idea.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
might
yeah.
not get it, but just trust me
Yeah.
on this, and we do it, and it works. So, but you know.
But so in terms of the bands that the other guys have been in, Sam, what kind of bands has he been in before?
So Sam's an
Guitarist, rhythm
guitarist. Yeah, he's the new rhythm guitarist. He is also in a pop punk band called Back to the Point.
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, man. They're a bit sort of like Blink, Sum 41
Cool.
style music. They're
Three-piece,
really cool.
four-piece?
Three-piece, I
Yeah,
believe.
great.
Recently a four-piece, I think. I might be wrong.
Does he sing?
Yeah, Sam actually plays bass and sings in that band, and I think he writes all the songs, and they're pretty cool, man.
Nice.
So if you haven't seen them, check them out.
In
They
the
just
script.
released a new lyric video, like a music video on YouTube, which is awesome.
Nice.
So
He's released stuff with Back to the Point.
yeah,
And they've been together for a little while.
I think it must have been a while because the first time I saw them was about 5 years ago, supporting us with East Town Pirates.
Cool. So that's so this shows he's got some experience. Sean, bass player.
Sean's probably the best one in the band for online presence.
Really?
Yeah.
What bands has he been in before?
He's
don't
going to
mind me
kill
asking.
me if he's
Sorry.
listening because I can't remember what they're called.
But he's been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
He's a good bass player. I actually sat down with him around my place because he helped us with our Kickstarter crowdfunding, supported us so that the Lockerbillies could release an album.
Yeah.
So through that, he opted to have a double bass lesson with me, and he's
Oh,
talented
he loved
guy.
It, man. He really loved that. He still talks about
He's
it.
a talented dude. So, he knows what he's talking about. So he's released a few albums, not just with the Pirates, but with other bands. So that helps for when you are doing this new one.
Yeah.
That you're like, I know what to do. And he's got an online presence, right?
Yeah, he's good. He knows what he's doing. Just to redeem myself, I think his old band was called Danger's Close.
Oh, I've heard of them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dangerous Close. Nice. Is it like a
because I know Sean listens to everything I do. Like
Dangerous
this.
Close? Is that a cul-de-sac? I think it is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just off Spring Road.
Yes,
I think.
I think it's in Nacton. They've got too many rollies around here. Okay, so Ricky, obviously,
Yeah,
Mr. Red Flag
legends, man.
77. So he's released quite a few albums with Red Flag
Yeah.
77.
Yeah, Ricky is a local hero, so he's been, a big part of the Ipswich music scene since forever. I think Red Flag 77 formed in the 90s.
Right,
I
yeah.
think their first album was 94, which is amazing because
Yeah.
that was obviously the big punk revival.
Yes.
All good punk albums come out in 94 if
True.
you're talking post-70s punk.
Okay.
And they released 3 albums. And then pretty much straight on to East Town Pirates.
Yeah.
So he's been non-stop recording and releasing albums.
He also
for,
knows how to shift a
25
product
years.
because he had Know Your Product.
He had a shop called Know Your Product. He's a very good salesman, and he knows it. He really knows
You want
his
this
stuff.
in your bag, mate?
Ricky, I always say this. Ricky is like the Rain Man of pop knowledge. So I think it's on Radio 2. They do Pop Master, and I've never heard him get an answer wrong.
No
It's
way,
incredible.
with Ken Bruce, yeah, he's loving it.
So good, man.
Yeah. He's
knows.
like, I think we're alone now. Ooh, what's that one? So he's obviously done that for a long
Yeah.
time, and I love that video that you put up on your YouTube of you guys performing together at Steamboat like 10 years ago.
18-year-old Rayna when I
God,
had hair
yeah.
and a blonde mohawk.
Yeah, he's like Rayna Joel, Billy Rayna.
Rayna Joe Vandel.
Yeah, that's great. So I love that. And Kev, who I was very envious of his guitar rig. Wonderful guitar
Yeah,
rig.
man.
I love his Les Paul. He's got 2 Gibsons.
Did you
One
see
that he
his
didn't
new one?
even use. Yeah, he didn't even
That
use.
was the new one.
His ES335.
Beautiful.
I was talking to him at the end. And yeah, I was big fan of that.
Kev's the biggest gearhead in the band.
Yeah.
He cares the most about what he
I was
sounds
saying
like.
Frankie. Yeah, right, that's fair. He's got a lovely tone.
Yeah.
I was saying to Frankie that like if I grow up right and I've got like Sean's looks, but Kev's arms, I'll be all right. I'm like, Kev's henchman, I'm looking at him like, juice.
I love the fact that like me and Sam, being the young ones in the band, think we're the poster boys, but everyone knows it's Sean.
Yeah.
even my girlfriend, I think, fancies Sean more than me.
He's a good looking bloke. And I had him in my house, so I suppose you've had him in your house multiple times. But yeah, so Kev's great. I mean, what bands has Kev been in before? Do you remember? Sorry, just give you East Town Pirates trivia questions.
So all I can remember is Red Flag 77, but I know he's also been in bands for many years. Forgive me saying this, Kev, but probably decades worth of experience. The cool story, I think he won't mind me saying, is that his first band he was ever in named themselves Private Party.
Oh, cool.
And they had a gig at a pub.
It's like calling yourself free beer, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing. They had a gig at a pub, and this backfired because on the board outside it just said Private Party, and no one turned up.
Oh, don't go through there. So keep. It's like calling yourself Keep Out.
It's a cool idea, but it's like the opposite effect. I know Harley used to be in a band called Free Shots, and the idea was to try and it was like
pubs wouldn't book him.
Clickbait band name. To, like get them in, but it's hard to book a band when it's like that misleading. But
no, I like that a lot. It's sort of accumulated experience and collective experience within bands that really pushes you forward. Yeah, because it's not only musically, because you guys wouldn't have your sound if you hadn't been in Derrida, if you hadn't been in Flicker, and you also wouldn't have that sound if Sam hadn't been in Back to the Point, and Ricky hadn't been in Red Flag 77, and Sean hadn't been in Dangerous Close. So without those bands, there wouldn't be East Town Pirates, and there wouldn't be that sound, but also there wouldn't be the sort of the streetwise thing of getting the word out about your gigs, getting the word out about your product, getting the word out about your albums, and the merch. It was great. So what, you got tea towels? Oh yeah, this time tea towels.
The tea towels are a bit of a Christmassy gimmick. I think that we did them once before and they sold out in one show. So we were like, why not? It's a laugh, in it, and they double up as flags. So we had them hanging over our guitar cabs as well. Nice. But we have quite a lot of merch.
Pirates Flag 77.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's nice. I mean, when I go see a band, one of my favourite things, other than seeing the band, is checking out how good their merch stall is.
And also, there's this smart thing of like kind of predicting your audience a bit. Because so I went out to John Peel Centre thinking, right, okay, I'll take 20 quid, and that will probably get me a T-shirt and an album, or just an album maybe, or something. I just get a bit of merch and maybe a pint because I was driving. So I just
don't drink and drive, kids.
No, definitely don't. And so I turn up, and you guys have got an album deal for the new album and a T-shirt for 20 quid. Yeah. Which I think is what most people will do, is they'll just I'll take at least 20 quid. Yeah. Nowadays, that people aren't really cash carriers. Yeah. Because you can do contactless, and most places do have card machines. But so the most amount of cash people will be taking out is like 30-40 quid, that I can predict anyway on a night out, because you're like, I don't know which kind of pub I'll turn up at. They might not take card at the bar, or especially if you're going to see a band. How many bands do you know that actually take card? It's only really big bands. It's getting better now because we've got Sum Up, haven't we?
You say that, man. I was really tempted to take my Sum Up card reader to the gig, just so we could take the odd card payment if we needed to.
Tell the people what Sum Up is, Rayna. Sum Up,
oh man, this is just like a big old advert. So Sum Up is like a little card reader you can purchase. There's no sort of subscription fee or monthly fee to have it, but essentially you pay to have this little device, and then you can take card payments. And they go straight into the bank account of your choosing. So for me, that's super handy for teaching, because it's nice to have a selling point as a drum teacher who can take card, because not everyone, especially if someone's block booking like 10 lessons, which isn't obviously the sort of money you would have in your wallet, you can just pay me by card, and it's cool.
Yeah, it's great. I heard about it from Rich, and it's really helped me for the merch stand at the Lockerbillies shows, where people are like, sorry, I don't have any cash. That's not the end of the transaction. You're not like, okay, well, buy then.
Yeah, that so we're moving into a world which are eventually probably grammar. We're probably going to be cashless very soon, I predict, in our lifetime.
Expect so.
So getting ahead of the market and being that band who do take card, it means you're not losing out on sales. Because it is the merch that helps us bands actually keep on the road now, isn't it?
Survival of the fitties. So on that note, I would like to play you my favourite song from the album. Wonderful songs on this album, like my favourites are Dead Man's Cove,
Lovely song.
Shipper Falls and Thorn
Yeah.
were my favourites because obviously I heard them beforehand, and obviously Shipper Falls being the title of the album, I
Yeah.
really liked it. It's all the crowd participation that you guys know so well from just listening to good punk over the years and also listening to good rock.
Yeah.
Because you can really hear.
We try not to be a punk
Just
band.
a punk band, yeah. No, I can really hear it. There's great sort of there's good riffs. Like a lot of the time with punks, it's a lot of chord sequences, not always just riffs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that about you guys. You know how to
Awesome,
do
man.
that. Yeah, Voodoo Pirate Rock and Roll. I would love that one because it's just it's a good balls out rock and roll tune. What's the last track
Oh,
called?
that's my favourite one. It's called Betrayal.
No, not Betrayal. There's one after that.
Oh, Snuff.
Snuff. Yeah, it's not on the album.
No,
it's
it's
not
a hidden
No, it's a
track.
hidden track. I like that. So I was naming them earlier.
So that is just really quickly, because I know you want to get into playing Libertalia. Snuff is like an old folk song that many bands have covered.
and who
it's-
sung that one?
Sean sings
sung
it.
that
So
one,
yeah, it's awesome, but it just made
Yeah.
it as a little hidden track, which we've now given away. So if you've bought the CD, try and find it. It could be at the start or at the end.
Nice.
Technology.
Who knows?
hit
Yeah.
those.
Also one other thing. So when I put the CD in, obviously there hasn't been this thing. Well, it's difficult to get your album on Grace Note. So when you put the CD into your computer, a lot of the time it doesn't always come up with all the track names. And so the way that I got around that before I released the album was that I burnt the track to a disc, the whole album to a disc, just one of mine, and then re-put that into my computer, then put all the track names of it, and then imported it, and then I uploaded that data to Grace Note. So I've done that with the East Town Pirates thing now, so that should hopefully
Yeah,
actually happen on other people's
we've had
computers.
some people saying it has done it, some people saying it hasn't. I think it's just because we're at the moment we're in a little the middle
limbo
of
thing.
Yeah.
So it's great. Yeah, but well done. This one is my favourite one. This one's called Libertalia. Get it on. That was Libertalia by East Town Pirates. I have Rayna Vandel here live with me. And how can people get the album?
So the album is available from all of our shows currently online if you want a copy. They're not quite on our store or on digital platforms quite yet, but if you find us on Facebook and message us, we'd be more than happy to post you one.
Nice
but more importantly, just come to a show. We've got next local show is the 21st of December at the Steamboat. Come say hi. Come grab a CD.
Nice. So well done, boy. So that concludes that section, and I'm going to give you your own little adapted jingle. Rayna did stuff. Well done, buddy. I want to talk about myself because yay me.
Yeah, you.
I had a great all week of seeing music. It was wonderful. I was also on BBC Suffolk with Stephen Foster
that was
because
the day after us, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. It was on. You pre-recorded your show, didn't you?
On the Wednesday for the Wednesday evening.
From the Wednesday evening show. So you did it during the day, so that it would go out live on the Wednesday night show. And that was fun because I did mine on the Friday.
Oh, okay.
I did mine on the Friday, which I was promoting the upcoming show that I've got with Dr. Feelgood at Venue 77. That's going to be loads of fun with the Lockerbillies. That one's a 3-piece show, so you're not on that one.
But I'll probably be
unfortunately.
there in support.
Oh, that'd be lovely to see you, mate. And Dr. Feelgood, there's a lot of people very, very excited about this show because they do bring a good energy to it, and they've been going for a long old time.
Long old time.
We're going to be supporting them with just one slot because the main show that we've got coming up is the New Year's show, which you're playing with me, aren't you?
Yay!
Seeing in 2019 at St. Peter's by the Waterfront, thanks to Beer & Co. So that's good old Greg Cooper from Beer & Co. They really do know how to put on a proper party because he won't just do beers. He'll do prosecco, gins, rums, and lots of different things that are quite artisan and local, which is really quite a nice thing about those guys. So they've got that coming up. That's the 31st of December at St. Peter's on the Waterfront. You can get tickets to that over our Facebook page. And thank you to Foz for having me on for that one. I did name drop quite a few people on that one. I think I name dropped you guys as well.
Nice.
Because I was saying that I was going to the show, like I was just saying to him, that the East Time Pirates are playing at John Peel Centre, and John Peel Centre, his namesake is just, he was very good at supporting up and coming local musicians, which is one of the reasons why I do it, and one of the reasons why Stephen Foster does it, and I think it's really great that we've got lots of people doing that around here, like Angel and Richard from Introducing. I was listening to their show because Shooting the Bang Bang have got a new EP coming out, and they were talking about that. So there's just the love is very much felt around here, and also I had to drop the love for Daniel Lee Harvey as he is DJing that night. Go DLH, exactly. So he's going to be DJing that whole night. So that was my little Friday afternoon. I had a practice with Hoppy and the Hopefuls. Cool. We were at St Jude's.
Wait, is that where you practice?
Upstairs.
No way.
Yeah. So they've got a little room upstairs which they hire out for bands. It's £25 for 4 hours. That's PA right. In there is a drum kit. There's amp cabs and a bass amp in there. So all you got to do is turn up with your heads. The only problem I found was parking. But you can stop outside, drop your gear in, and then park it here at Punch Studios because it's free after 8. So if you've got a sort of 8 o'clock practice onwards, it's all right.
Nice.
So I spoke to Darren Smith for that from Dead Soul Promotions. So if you're looking for a practice room, check that out at St Jude's. That was a nice little practice. We sort of learned 5 new tracks, I think it was, for our upcoming show this weekend, this Saturday at the Punch and Judy. So if you want some more details, stick around for the gig list. I really should think of a jingle for that, shouldn't I? I don't know why I should do that. So the fun old week I had was finished off with 2 live shows. On Friday night, I was invited along with some very old bandmates of mine, which I was ecstatic to hear from them, because I used to go on tour with Who's Driving Bears Driving. Who Driving Bears Driving? We were together. I was with them from about 2012 to about 2011 to about 2013. Had a really good time with those guys. If anybody's not heard them, it's like pop punk a la Wonder Years and nice. Story So Far. Real emotive pop punk. Great riffs, great arrangements, which I can take a little bit of credit for on the most recent album by them, which was The Company I Was Looking For. Unfortunately, after that we parted ways, and I didn't see them for years and years and years. It wasn't particularly bitter. I just I was in the middle of my 3rd year of university. I just cut so many ties that year of just getting my head down, getting my work done. I was living quite far away from everybody, and just became a bit of a hermit. So the band, I was living in London at this point, and the band was in Whittam. So getting to practice all the time in Colchester was a faff. And my main gripe was the fact of the only contact I ever got was through a group chat. And so, somebody would put up, okay, this is happening, and then there'd be a massive discussion afterwards about nothing, like in all group chats. And then so I'd have to be scrolling back through all these messages to find out what the hell is going on. And then after a while, I'm just like, screw it. If they need me, they'll call me.
I always have that attitude, man.
And that's the thing. Like most of the time, like if you haven't replied to something, then I'll just be like, hey, how you doing? Like or we've got the Trello, so we've got a productivity app where it's quite easy to see who's doing what, and if there is a practice or something, it will be actually dealt with. So that aside, seeing these guys and listening back to the tracks, like obviously, they'd come back into my life. My brother actually found a bunch of Who's Driving Bears Driving t-shirts in his cupboard, and he was like, I'm not going to wear these again, so I have them. And I've just been fanning about in them. So I turn up, meeting the 2 of the Who's Driving guys, just wearing Who's Driving Bears Driving t-shirt. And we went up to Three Wise Monkeys in Colchester to watch Underline the Sky and Reno and Rome and Polly Haynes. What a lineup.
And that would have been a great lineup back in the day for you guys to support as well.
We played with Underline the Sky a bunch of times.
They
went on tour together.
Did they share a bass player? Is it
Kyron, Richardson, Todd. So we used to go on tour with Kyron. He's one of my best mates. And it was really nice to just sort of have those trips down memory lane. So just hanging out with Bronwyn and Dan and David and Ben from Underline the Sky, and Ben from Fenrir back in the
He's
day.
awesome. Yeah, we played with Fenrir a lot in the Sleepless Wild days. I've got a lot of love for Ben. He's a great drummer.
And David, he likes listening to the podcast. So hello, David. Good show. Very, very good show. I really enjoyed that. It was a nice sort of selective crowd of people that were actual fans of all the bands, which was nice. Because watching Polly Haynes play by herself is actually a rare treat. She does go out with a big band, and she is rather talented. So it was nice to watch that. I liken her to a female Jeff Buckley. Wonderful. Also, Reno and Rome. I hadn't seen them for a couple months, which I'm a bit guilty of. I feel a bit guilty about because I made their logo and I'm a bit of an early fan of theirs. They've just gotten tighter and tighter and tighter. Their songwriting has gotten better and better. They've got a new EP coming out, I believe. I don't have a release date for that yet, but I will chase them up for it and I'll let you guys know about that next week. Because their live show has just gotten better and better. They really know just how to execute their songs in a very, in a regimented manner so that it comes out exactly like it's on the record, but you don't feel like you're just getting a cut and paste show that happens somewhere else. But obviously, Underline the Sky, they nail it every time. I love them. I've been a massive little Rayna Vandel of them for many, many years. And I used to watch them when my hair was down to my butt cheeks. I've always fawned over Dan's playing.
Speaking of butt cheeks and going full fanboy.
Oh yeah.
Can I say what happened on Saturday?
Fine, sure, maybe, okay.
I may have signed Josh's booty on Saturday at the
gig.
It was so random.
I know, it was quite difficult because it's a Sharpie. I found it quite difficult to get it off my skin.
Quite tickly as well.
It was. I was like, whoa! But yeah, Jamie did say that you're more of a bum guy. So it's like, I won't ask him to sign my chest. I'll get him to sign my booty.
I'd rather sign your booty.
I love being a fan of bands though, just like being a creepy fanboy.
You've got to. I mean,
practice
what
you preach,
I love as much as I love bands. So you say, practice what you preach.
Practice what you preach, but also you're missing out on if you're not a creepy fan.
Yeah,
I swear
you miss out on opportunities.
Yeah. So and then Saturday I got to watch you play, which was wonderful, and I got to go out with Frankie and Jamie. Which was just wonderful, just to be able to actually hang out with the wags.
Yeah.
Because we barely get to. We're usually on stage. Well,
it's one of those things, isn't it? When you're in bands, it's rare that all of your mates that you're
are
in
there
bands with are free. But I was lucky; I had so many of my fellow bandmates and friends there. So great time.
So that's what I did. Oh, Sunday also I checked out the new Three Wise Monkeys in Ipswich.
Banging! I walked past it yesterday.
It's nice. They've opened up. They haven't got their first live music night is Albion Mills. Not this Saturday. It's the next Saturday, 8th of December. And they've also got Ben Maher DJing there the night before, I believe. So if you want some hip hop, get down there the weekend after next. Kerry's been doing some hard work, and we've got something planned there soon. So watch this space. But anyway, so we're going to get onto some serious music industry discussions very shortly. Until then, I've heard about this guy for quite a while, Slow King. He's been played on BBC Introducing a bunch of times, but he has got an album launch coming up soon at Mr. Barber's on Ipswich Waterfront.
Cool.
He is a multi-instrumentalist, singer-songwriter, sort of doing some IDM mixed with hip-hop. He's very good at doing the down-tempo stuff. Anyway, this is from his digital mixtape, which is available on iTunes. I hope you like it. This is Sleepwalker by Slow King. That was Slow King with Sleepwalker. It's available on iTunes. Very reminiscent of Sampha. Got sort of block party things in there as well, which I really like. So yeah, you can check him out. He's playing this weekend. We'll tell you in the gig list. Quick shout out, as we do a Facebook game every weekend. Our game this weekend was What's Your Favourite Iconic Guitar? Special mention goes to Scott Norman for the Guitar Hero controller. But you want to choose our winner of the best iconic guitar mentioned.
Okay.
What do you think? So we've got Dave Grohl's DG335.
Tom McCarthy put his White Claudia on
Yeah,
there.
Tom McCarthy's new guitar theme.
I've forgotten the name of it, but we've got Tom Morello's
Harm the Homeless, yeah.
There's some good ones on there. I'm very biased though. I think you know which one I'm going to pick.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be Blue, right?
I'm going to go with Billy Joe's Blue from Green Day.
Yeah.
I think
from Ryan Swain.
Every 13-year-old guy in the late 90s, early noughties just stick it up their strat to try and look like Billy Joe.
So did you? I saw it in that video with Ricky in the steamboat.
Man.
So nice one. Thanks for getting involved. Stick around on the page at Harley and Josh Show for that every single week. So let's get on to the serious discussion that we've got.
Discussion.
Yeah. So we talked about Article 13 last time, and as you've had some time to reflect on it, Article 13 proposed the meme ban.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it now? So I thought real quickly that I'd read it live on air for people to get an idea of it. So
the actual article, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Article 13 of the European Copyright Directive. Here we go, verbatim, this is what it is. Use of protected content by information society service providers, storing and giving access to large amounts of works and other subject matter uploaded by their users. So point one, information society service providers that store and provide to the public access to large amounts of work or other subject matter uploaded by their users shall, in cooperation with rights holders, take measures to ensure the functioning of agreements concluded with right holders for the use of their works or other subject matter, or to prevent the availability of their services of works or other subject matter identified by rights holders through the cooperation with the service providers. Those measures, such as the use of effective content recognition technologies, shall be appropriate and proportionate. Keywords. The service providers shall provide rights holders with adequate information on the functioning and the deployment of the measures, as well as, when relevant, adequate reporting on the recognition and use of the works and other subject matter. Point 2. Member states shall ensure that the service providers referred to in paragraph 1 put in place complaints and redress mechanisms that are available to users in case of disputes over the application of the measures referred to in paragraph 1. Point 3 is the last one, promise. Member states shall facilitate, where appropriate, the cooperation between the information society service providers and rights holders through stakeholder dialogues to define best practices, such as appropriate and proportionate content recognition technologies, taking into account, among others, the nature of the services, the availability of the technologies, and their effectiveness in light of technological developments. So that's the end of it there. It's very much legal speak. There's not a lot of stuff that you can't decipher. That there's not too much kind of jargon involved in there. But the key words seem to be appropriate and proportionate.
Yeah.
So what's your take on this, sir?
So the main thing I've looked at regarding this, just because of how much it's been pushed and being a big YouTube user myself, is what's been said by YouTube about the situation, because they are one company that have made the headlines from being really out there with trying to get people on their side with the hashtag Save the Internet. The big misconception I think a lot of people have had is that Google aren't against Article 13. They're very for it. They just don't like the way it's currently worded because it makes them liable for any copyright infringement rather than the person uploading the video, for example. So take me, for instance, when I upload a drum cover, every single drum cover I have instantly gets flagged because there's copyrighted content on there. However, what happens is the video gets monetized and all of those all of the ad revenue goes directly to the record label and the publisher and the correct owners of the songs, right? So I feel like that's totally fair. I'm not profiting from it. The person who owns the rights to everything I've done is, but the way the Article 13 is currently worded means that wouldn't be able to happen. The video would just have to be completely removed from the internet because it would make Google liable for that infringement. It's a weird one, and people are forgetting that it is only going to potentially affect people within the EU, right?
Yes.
So, like, for example, we're currently...
Where are we?
So this could super affect us, it could not, but either way it's going to affect so many people. Now
here comes the klaxon. Brexit. Beep, beep, beep.
So I'm very for the YouTube side of the argument because I guess that's the side that I've read the most up on. If you take something like I don't know, the most viewed YouTube video in the world, which is Despacito, YouTube have the rights to play all of that from recording and publishing rights because they're paying the money to the right people. Yet there's going to be stuff that's
used in the video,
which they don't have.
Yeah.
Which would mean they take it down, and
well, do they definitely though? Because there's
they may have.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of opinions thrown around. The music business lobbyists strongly disagree that that's a problem, suggesting that such cautions by YouTube are nothing more than additions to a carpet-bombing propaganda campaign designed to whip up unfounded worry about the legislation, which I think they're affecting YouTube personalities like yourself with quite a lot. However, YouTube says that it opens up the service to unmitigated liability and such a large financial risk that we would be forced to block huge amounts of video.
Mm-hmm.
A group of music trade bodies countered that YouTube's 11th hour campaign of fact-free fear-mongering, which, we've both heard that, should be seen for what it is, an attempt to derail the EU democratic legislative process. So what do you guys think? So you can tweet in with this one. It's difficult to know because as a rights holder, I want everybody who has been who gets their work redistributed without their knowledge sometimes to be compensated. And compensated properly, because I think that's what's happening. What a lot of the problems is that the algorithms that will be putting in there, which you'll try and upload something and you just won't be allowed to upload it because it will use a specific image or a specific song which you don't own the rights to, or they won't know whose rights should be paid out. So that may start limiting things. But they did say appropriate and proportionate in the EU copyright directive. So.
And there is already that sort of thing in place with a lot of things online. So I believe it's something like YouTube only flag a video if they detect more than 7 seconds of a recognised thing. Yeah, which is very similar to the whole plagiarism thing of what is it?
Exactly.
7 notes
something like that. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Please let us know. Because this is probably going to be coming into law by the end of the year. In whatever wording it's going to be, but I expect it's probably just the wording as itself. I think they're very adamant that they're not going to be swayed by propaganda from private companies. It's going to have to be a democratic thing, which I think is probably one of the reasons why a lot of people have voted for Brexit, to get away from these directives. Because I don't know, I haven't heard what the consensus in the UK is for Article 13. I think they're probably very for it, but it just might not affect us in after 2019 or after whatever period it takes for us to get out of the EU. So I don't know. Please let us know on our Facebook page. You can talk to Rayna as well on his Instagram at Rayna Vandel, at
Twitter as well at Rayna Vandel.
Nicely done. So that was a thing that we did. So I say thank you for the music news. Next thing we want to get onto is my little section called Thing I Thought About This Morning.
Jingle.
What we'd like to talk about now is crowdfunding. So I have crowdfunded an album. Personally, you have been in conversation with people about crowdfunding albums recently. What do you say about it? Because you said that you've got into a bit of discussion and somebody was a bit anti it.
Yeah, I'm really for it. In this day and age, if you've got the opportunity to fund an album in a market where you're not very likely to be given some sort of advance from a label, or like Lockerbillies, we're not on a label, but you successfully crowdfunded the album, and I think it's a great idea. So
Eastern Pirates is on Rum Runner Records, right?
Rum Runner, it's our own label.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, we sort of do all our own stuff when it comes to the label side of things, but we do sometimes get distribution deals and things like that. So,
but a lot of people don't know how to do that, and they don't have the funding for that. So how would we get that?
We're privileged in the point to have a distribution deal and stuff like that. But if you don't, you need, it's expensive to release and produce and manufacture an album. So why not crowdfund it, man?
Yeah,
if there's a demand for it, if your fans are willing to pay in advance for an album you're about to record with some extra, bonus that they're going to receive. So in your case, Sean from Easttown Pirates got a double bass lesson because of his pledge.
I've given out some guitar lessons for that as well.
Things like, I think that's amazing. But I've had discussion with people as well who are very on the other side of the argument, and they think it's a bit, for lack of a better term, sellouty. I hate that phrase. And they just think it's not very cool. And I think a lot of it is just people being worried about being judged. But, you know, in this day and age, man, just do what you got to do to produce a great piece of art.
Definitely. So I've got some stuff that I've sort of read up on this one. So crowdfunding itself, it's a great way to test your business idea with potential customers. So who can evaluate what you're offering and give feedback and support as you launch your business or product. So in this case being an album or you know, it could be a tour.
Anything. Yeah.
It could be a tour or some merch. So the benefits of it can help your profile. A compelling project can raise a producer's profile and provide a boost to their reputation. The marketing, you get an idea of who's donating. For me, I know that I had 174 backers for the album, and on average it was about £31 per pledge, which is wonderful.
That's great.
And also understand, you know, get to find out my demographic and stuff like that. I found I'm about 60% female, but it's mostly men that visit these sites apparently. So audience engagement, there are a lot of people sitting there saying, you know, good luck, or they'll be sitting there going, oh, this would be a good idea for a reward. Yeah. You get feedback so early on as to what you know your audience thinks about your product, so which is really invaluable. However, there are disadvantages. Your reputation, like you've said, some people can sit there and say, oh, it's a bit sell-outy, or it can be a little bit too preachy. What else we've got? So your IP protection, so you could put out your product, your intellectual property, IP, and somebody else to just nick it before you've even released it, so you don't actually have any claim over it. Donor exhaustion, so you know the people that have been helping you out can get a little bit tired by just constantly trying to help you out, especially if you do more than one crowdfunding thing. So that's what I'm a bit worried about. If I want to do one again, people will just be like, oh, really again? You know, public fear of abuse. So I guess, you know, it's kind of like the bands or the companies will be looking at it just going like, oh, crikey, you know, it's just going to get backlash. If you're asking for handouts or something like that, which is what people think it is, which it isn't. You know, you are actually providing people with a service. And also the lack of participation, kind of like, you know, you worry if you're not. It's like investors don't like to give you money, or mortgage lenders don't like to give you money if you don't have a stake in the game. So if you haven't put in a deposit, or if you haven't put some money down, a lot of people won't give you money. So I put in money myself into the campaign, and so it made it much more like I had more at stake. Whereas if you're just gambling with other people's money, what do you get? You don't know. You don't know.
Exactly.
If it doesn't work, you're not exactly stuck with stuff. But yeah, so I mean,
it's weird, the argument when people say like that you mentioned there, that one of the common negatives is that pre-ordering a product that isn't finished or existed yet. But no one ever has an issue pre-ordering an album that is finished.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, really, what's the difference? You're just doing it a bit sooner.
Yeah, you're making sense. Yeah, exactly. So you were saying earlier about, was it Ginger and the Wild Hearts? We were talking about the Blackout did this, but Ginger Wild Hearts got into chart. They charted
so I
because
think
of the
they were
pre-sales.
one of the first bands to chart based on their pre-sales from Kickstarter. So like, you know, the album wasn't even done.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was in the charts.
In the charts, it's crazy.
So that can be a little bit controversial. I understand that side of things, but
exactly.
I think the positives outweigh the negatives.
I've got some statistics for you here. So music, this is on a 2016 survey, so it's a little bit outdated, but you know, you can get an idea of what's going on with it. Music is only 4.5% of crowdfunding revenue worldwide. Business, startups and social media social causes combined have a 75% stake in the whole of crowdfunding. So you know, there's only 25% left for other things like product development, you know, that kind of thing. However, in 2016, out of 22,000 successful projects, music category got the highest number of successful campaigns, with 4,000 of them were successfully funded, which is about $34 million of the whole thing. So the average funding for each project was about $8,000. One of the lowest average success rates. One of the highest average success rates, which is about 51%. Which, I mean, you know, like a lot of the other things like business startups and product development and social causes got about 30% it was 30% likely that they would succeed. So music seems to be that it's a cheap thing to make an album, really, if on the grand
compared
scheme
to
of
a
things.
business.
Compared to a business startup, or trying to make some new tech, or trying to raise money for some people to be able to actually have housing or whatever. So it'll be interesting to sort of know what the figures are for this year, etc. I think I will do it again if I'm not backed by a major label. I think anybody should give it a try just to sort of get an idea of where their business stands. It could be a good sort of fight or flight or make or break situation, shake and bake. 2 words next to each other, words. So, yeah, we've got to crack on to the gig list because we've only got a couple of minutes left. This week, the Lockerbillies, we're doing a duo show, Murray and I, at the SU Winter Night Market in Essex. So Essex University, we'll be there from at Friday from about 4 o'clock. Lots of stalls open and stuff. Thank you to Johnny from Pet Needs for booking for that. That'd be good. KZ's playing again locally. Good old KZ. KZ and Friends party is going to be at Curve Bar. That's Friday at 9 o'clock. Hop in the Hopefuls. That's me and Harley.
Hello.
Hello. Are we going to be playing at the Punch and Judy this Saturday at 8 o'clock? Never played there before. We'll see what that's like. They've had some bookings apparently, which is good.
Nice. Shooting
the Bang Bang. I've got an album launch called Dazed. That's Saturday at Three Wise Monkeys in Colchester. What else we got? Men and Munger playing at the Hunter Club on Saturday, 6 o'clock. That'll be good. Slow Kings EP promo show is at Mr. Barber's on the waterfront. That's this week, and that'll be this Saturday. So yeah, check out his page for that one. And Peter Hepworth will be playing at the Smokehouse with Jake Morley this Friday at 7:30. Do you have any gigs that you want to promote, my friend?
I've only got one coming up, but it's not local, but I'm going to promote it anyway. I'm actually playing with Aaron Buchanan and the Cult Classics on the 30th of November, so next Friday.
Nice.
And that's at the Engine Shed in Lincoln, so I know it's a bit of a travelage, but if you fancy going on a little trip,
that'll be loads of fun. It's such a good band.
Oh, I love him, man. And I get to play with the old classic Tom McCarthy on.
Yes.
I love that geezer. He's
you
so
guys
cool.
are going to be doing wrestling moves on stage, aren't you? And how many times are you going to do the joint horns on stage?
We just did it in here, no one can see it.
Stage, on radio.
On stage.
Oh, yes, that's what we do.
Cool beans. Yeah.
But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of you, I would like to say thank you to Rayna Vandel for joining us.
No probs.
Round of applause. Rayna.
Oh, the crowd goes wild.
Thank you for signing my butt.
You're welcome, man, anytime.
Really? Anytime if I turn up at your house and just be like, sign my butt cheeks. And Jamie will be like, sure, fine.
I'll keep a Sharpie on me at all times.
You always do, yeah. I am asking you wonderful people to subscribe, comment on this with what you want us to discuss next week in terms of music industry, music news, topics. Music news. Thank you very much for listening in. Please like, subscribe. Please give us a share. Let us know what you want to talk about. Until next week, this is our, Rayna and I's, session at Sugar Ray's in Wickford in Essex. This is our version of Indecisive Blues, one of my own songs. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Bye. Mum.
Well, I got a lady who couldn't decide between an ice cold beer and a cyanide. Spent a long time trying to figure it out, but when she's made up her mind, well, she's stuck with doubt. It's not that she's dumb or got a fickle mind, but when it comes to seeing choices, well, my baby, she's fine. And I said, baby, would you dance with me? This is what she said. Sing it, boys. She said, yeah, yeah, yeah. She said, no, no, no. What's that? No, no, no. She said, maybe tomorrow. Huh. Maybe tomorrow. You know, she gave me those indecisive blues.